everyone, this is Jess with Story County Conservation, and I'm out here on a beautiful fall day, and fall is my favorite time to do some fungus foraging. A lot of people think that the only time to try to harvest mushrooms is in the spring when that elusive morel mushroom pops up, but my favorite mushrooms actually happen in the fall. And today is a very special day because we had a very special mushroom come up overnight. I was actually just hiking this trail yesterday and didn't see anything, and now all around the trail I see these beautiful shaggy mane mushrooms. Sometimes they're called shaggy manes, sometimes people call them inky caps, sometimes they're called lawyer's wig. Scientifically they are Cuprinus comatus, and this is a great little wild edible that you can find right now. They love to grow in disturbed areas with compact soils, so they're perfect to find along a trail just like this. They're a white mushroom that kind of looks like a bullet coming out of the ground to start with. And they get their name because it looks like they almost have these little scales along the side of the mushroom head right here. Now, this is a great, easy to start with mushroom because there aren't really any poisonous lookalikes. And the closest look-alike is still in the Cuprinus family. It's called an ink cap. But the way you can tell the difference is that the shaggy manes, they like to grow more singularly out of the ground. So occasionally you might find a cluster of 2 to 3, but normally they just kind of grow on their own with one style, or what you would think of as the stem sticking out. So here's one here, there's another here, there's another here. Its cousin, the ink cap, that is a look-alike. They grow in many, many clusters together. Another good distinguishing feature is if I were to cut this in half, a good fresh shaggy mane is going to be nice and white inside, and the stem is actually going to be hollow. And again, in mushroom terminology, we call this the stipe. Now, an interesting thing about this mushroom is they grow really, really quickly, which means they actually do not preserve very well. If you find this mushroom, you have to pick it when it's in this smaller stage and it's still white throughout, because as this grows and gets larger, it gets more of this inky cap quality. The gills actually start to fan out and it creates this inky substance. You can actually use this for dye and actual ink. When it gets to this stage, it is no longer edible. It's got a terrible texture and a terrible bitter flavor. So when you see it at this stage, you don't pick it, you don't want to eat it. It gets to this stage because it actually starts basically dissolving or digesting itself so it can release its spores. It's pretty neat, but you don't want to eat it. So when you pick this, you want to make sure that you're able to either cut and freeze it quickly, or you're actually able to get it to your cooking preparation right away. They only last for a couple hours before they're actually going to start browning. What I like to do if I can't cook it right away is I slice them up and I put them right in the freezer. You can find this mushroom usually mid-September to sometimes even late October. They love these cooler nights and warmer days, and they're starting to pop up all over. You can even find this in your neighborhood, on your lawn. But a little word of caution, mushrooms are about 90% water, and they absorb what's around them. So if you're in an area that you know uses fertilizer, herbicides, pesticides, that's not a mushroom you want to pick or eat, because that will bioaccumulate in the mushroom. So leave that alone. But if you're in an area where you know it's safe to harvest that mushroom, that there aren't any chemicals, I encourage you to try this mushroom. But like with any mushroom, always remember, only eat what you can 100% identify. So if you don't know, use a book or consult an expert. If this mushroom is new to you, only try a little bit of it at a time so you know you don't have any food allergies to that mushroom. And always make sure that you cook any mushroom you find. Even those mushrooms that you find in the store that are safe to eat, you actually don't get any of those nutritional values from those mushrooms unless it's cooked. those enzymes have to be broken down for you to absorb all those good vitamins like vitamin D and vitamin E. So remember those 3 things, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and stay tuned, because as the season goes on, we're going to try to find more and more mushrooms to showcase to you that you can actually eat. So thanks for joining us for now.